What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about if the Mafia remake is a make or break for the franchise. So this is something that I've been thinking about actually quite a lot in regards to, okay, well, Mafia 1's, the remake for this is coming. It's going to be very, very big, very, very important. What does it mean for, like, a Mafia 4? All these different kind of things. There's a lot, actually, we can talk about going forward with it as well, and I fully intend to do so. I know I've had a couple people asking me about Mafia. I get that I've, actually gotten quite a few of you guys, Mafia community, basically, right, that wants to see videos. I totally understand. I totally see you guys. I haven't forgotten about you. Obviously, there's just so many gaming announcements and all that stuff that's been going on and will be going on over the next month or so. And I cover, if you guys haven't noticed, I cover a ton of things on this channel, gaming and actually movies. There's just no movies that are releasing. So Mafia stuff, I will be covering Mafia. I will still be doing that, really actually starting in July pretty heavily, I would say, then going into the Mafia 1 remake. And once Mafia 1 does come out, I'll be covering it quite a bit there as well. So there's definitely going to be Mafia videos. And also to add on to that as well, I know I've been promoting the second channel with you guys, and a lot of you guys have subscribed, and I definitely appreciate it. I do have a second channel. The link for it will be in the description below. I do additional gaming videos there. So maybe, from time to time, I can throw a Mafia video on that channel as well. And obviously, again, leading into Mafia 1's remake, I'll be covering it over there as well. So if you guys want to subscribe over there, that would mean a lot. And again, gives you guys additional videos that I talk about as well, okay? So when it comes to Mafia, look, I'm not going to hide it, okay? Mafia has been a very up and down franchise to me. You guys know where I stand on these games. Now, I did a review of Mafia 2. I reviewed Mafia 2's remaster on the second channel, okay? So my opinions on that are over there if you guys haven't watched. And basically, my thought of it is aged very, very poorly, I think. Story is still very, very good. Okay, now I actually never played the story, so technically, first time playing it, I actually really liked the story. It was kind of a slow grind, really picked up. I feel like the second half of the game, I think, is when it really started to get good. But I enjoyed my time. I think I had a lot of fun driving like a maniac, not really knowing how to drive in that game. But again, I think the game aged very, very poorly. The game does not run very well at all. In fact, it runs pretty terribly. I understand that was because of different, errors, basically, and they were trying, and they still are trying to fix that. So I get all that. But really, here's where, and why am I saying all that? Well, this is important, okay? Because really, Mafia to a lot of people, it means different things to different people. And I know some people are really going to love Mafia. Some people are going to be on the fence. But when it comes to the future of Mafia, which really, so when I talk about Mafia 1 being make or break for the franchise, I really mean for the future Mafia games. Because what we've had so far is this, okay? Is this. I've always thought, being an outside looker, like looking onto Mafia, but being on the outside, that Mafia has always kind of been in the shadow of all of these other bigger and kind of more ambitious in different ways open world games, okay? The GTA, even like Saints Row in a way, but I get it, they're all different. I totally understand that. They're not actually all for the same people. I actually really do believe that. If you play Mafia, I don't know if you'll like GTA or, Red Dead or, again, like any of these kind of games, the Saints Row game, right? And same thing if you're playing those. I don't know if you were playing Saints Row and you love Saints Row, I don't think you're really going to like Mafia. Same thing even with GTA, okay? Now, again, there is going to be overlap. There's going to be people that play I've played all of those games, right? But not everybody's going to do that. So there's that situation. Mafia 3 flat out wasn't good. Okay, I think to a lot of people, Mafia 3 wasn't good. Maybe to the diehard Mafia fans, they can accept it, they can tolerate it, but I don't think anybody is out there saying Mafia 3 was a game of the year or Mafia 3 was some incredible game. People aren't even saying it's the best game, right? People are pretty much saying either it's 1 or 2. And now that I've played Mafia 2 and I played 3, now I didn't beat 3, but I did play it, I can say I enjoyed 2, which again is a game that is 10 years old, is a game that has aged awfully, really, really bad. I can still say that I enjoyed Mafia 2 more than 3. Okay, and that's not good. And so again, maybe this is a slightly depressing video. Maybe this is going to make people upset. But again, just know from the videos I made in the past, I want the best for this franchise. All I want is for this franchise to be good. I want that, and I've said that. All I want is for all games, really. I want all games. I want to give all games a chance, and I want all games to be very good. Okay, that's what I want just in in general, in life. That's basically my life goal. But no, I mean, seriously, that's what it is. So I don't want people getting the wrong idea that I'm just hating on Mafia, because I'm not. I spent $60 on this Mafia trilogy. I want a good product, and I want the future Mafia games to be really, really good. So, okay, going back into history, Mafia 3, not very good. Now we have this trilogy, this the remake for 1, remaster, right? The definitive edition for 2, and then technically the definitive edition for 3. Okay, so we had that, and while I actually admire in a lot of ways, and I like what they did with the announcing it and kind of the couple day lead up to it, and then you announce it, and you say, okay, trailer next week, and then all of a sudden rumors are swirling that, hey, you may be able to play Mafia 2 and 3 on this day, but one seems like a remake all of a sudden. Oh, but it seems like you're not going to be able to play 1 till, you know what I mean? Like, remember those couple days? Very, very exciting. So, again, I'm going to give credit to them. They deserve all the credit in the world for building up that excitement. And, again, by the way, they had people talking about Mafia again, which is good. Since when the Twitter came back online, that, like, Sunday or Saturday, a couple days before they did, like, the teaser for it, from that day on, they had people talking about Mafia nonstop. People, again, even like me, who I've covered it. I covered Mafia 4 on this channel a couple times over the last year or so. But I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan of the franchise, right? But I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm willing to talk about it. I'm willing to jump in. And what did I do? I did. I talked about it. I got myself even more excited. I bought it. I bought Mafia Trilogy. I played Mafia 2. I made sure that now I'm going to play Mafia 1's remake. So, they got people in. But, okay, now to basically finish off the story here, what happened? Mafia 2's remaster, okay, just did not go well at all. From a person like me, who, again, is willing to give it as many chances as possible, and also I'm trying to be fair, but I'm also trying to be critical, I would even say that remaster was one of the worst remasters I've ever played. In fact, I think I said that in that video. That's just not how you do a remaster. Again, the lead up to it, the hype, the marketing for it, that's how you do it. That was fine. That was perfect, actually. But the product we got was not good. And what we now had with Mafia 2 was it just did not do what it needed to do, okay? So you got people talking about it again. You got people back on board. But now you disappointed them again because Mafia 3 wasn't good enough. And again, I don't know who's buying this trilogy to replay Mafia 3. I would say less than 1% of the people that bought this trilogy bought it because of Mafia 3. And again, like I said, I would love to know the individual statistics because you can buy all of these games separately, right? We know that. So we have I'm sure they have the statistics, right? I would love to know out of all of the people that bought these games separately, what's the number of people that bought Mafia 1, bought Mafia 2, bought Mafia 3 separately, or are going to buy Mafia 1. You know what I mean? I really do want to see that because I think that would be very, very interesting to see what the numbers would come back. And I would guarantee you the numbers are not going to be high for Mafia 3. But then now, again, add on to it, Mafia 2's remaster wasn't good enough. So where does that leave us? Okay, where does that leave us? It leaves us with Mafia 1. There's a lot riding on Mafia 1. It needs to be good. I mean, flat out, it needs to be good. And not even just that. It puts a lot more pressure on them, which is kind of a negative thing because it's not like those developers asked for it. But Mafia 1 needs to be good because people are now... Because basically, what I'm saying is, people kind of fell for a trap. In fact, you could even say I fell for a trap, right? Because I played 3. I gave 3 a chance the day it came out. Okay, back when it came out. I bought it that day. I didn't like it. So any normal person would probably say, all right, well, done. You know what I mean? And also, you do have to remember this, and I do really want to stress this. The world doesn't always live on the internet. The world doesn't live on YouTube. All those kind of things. It is important because, while you have a lot of Mafia fans on YouTube, on Twitter, on Discord, and all this stuff, normal people, I'm not saying, we're not normal, okay? I mean, I'm definitely not normal. I'm pretty strange. I'm a weird person. But, normal, just consumers, the majority of people that give games their sales, let's say, okay? The majority of people that give money to these games, they played Mafia 3, and let's say they just didn't like it, so they moved on from it. So again, this trilogy may have brought some of them back. In fact, again, it brought me back. I was one of them. I played 3, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to give it, and I've told this story before, right? I wanted to give Mafia a chance. I figured the new game would be the best way to do that. I played it. It wasn't for me, and I figured that, okay, well, the whole series just isn't for me. Like, I tried, I attempted it, but I have to kind of just come under the acceptance that this game franchise just maybe isn't for me. Now, again, fast forward to the rumors of Mafia 4. All of a sudden, my interest is kind of peaking, right? It's like, ooh, sounds interesting. Sounds like they're learning from their mistakes. Sound like they're going to do some different things that could be fun. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to watch what they have to show me. Then this Mafia trilogy. Okay, I've heard a lot of people tell me Mafia 2 is really good. It's the best one. And I'm not saying like you were wrong. I'm not saying I doubted you or I doubt you now. No, I think Mafia 2 actually, out of 3 and 2, is the better one. Is it is it the best game I've ever played? No. The story is very solid. It's a very competent story. Is it the greatest story ever? No. And again, the game didn't age well. So again, where does that leave us? That leaves us to people that were getting back into it for this trilogy. Now we're like, oh, well, now Mafia 2 disappointed us because, yes, it's a solid game, but it's a solid game of a game that was back in 2010. And, again, the remaster did no service to bring it up to current gen. Okay, so it failed. I would honestly argue that it failed. The only thing that succeeded was the idea of what this Mafia trilogy was. So now all they have left is Mafia 1, is the Mafia 1 remake. And, again, there's a lot riding on it because if it comes out, and let me tell you, I've seen a lot of people just on, and again, the internet doesn't, the internet doesn't necessarily, it's not like a one-to-one thing of like everybody, that's ever bought these games or thinking of buying them. But I've seen a lot of people saying like, I'm just going to wait for 1, I'll buy 1, and then if it's good enough, I'll buy 2 as well. Like they're either not going to buy the trilogy or they're just going to buy, individual games. Okay, that's pretty much where I've seen a lot of people, kind of fall on this, which again, is actually where, Mafia deserves this because they kind of did it to themselves. So you have a lot of people that are going into Mafia 1 saying like, all right, this is going to be dependent on whether or not I buy 2. And people aren't saying this, but I will say it for them. Again, if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me, but I'm saying it for like a larger group. I think the people that are also saying that kind of probably have in the back of their head that this is really, again, make or break for future games. Because if this remake is bad, again, because here's the thing, there's really no excuse for this remake because, yes, it's a game that was, 2002, I think was the first Mafia. That's very old, okay? You would be willing to give it some breaks if it was remastered, if it was, like, really heavily kind of remade, but it was still the basic, base game. But we know from all we've heard that this really is kind of a brand new Mafia. Like, it's going to have new mechanics. It's having actually new cutscenes in general. Like, there's a lot changing. I expect this game to be a built from the ground up, because that's what a remake is. Built from the ground up, like, what would Mafia be like in 2020, but using, I guess, the backdrop, the story, the characters of Mafia 1, which, by the way, I don't know those, so I guess I can't necessarily judge them, but obviously they're using that, and then they're bringing everything else up to speed in a way that the Mafia 2 remaster never got close to. Okay, so that's what my expectations are. I think that's what a lot of people's expectations are. And if it fails, then why would people be excited for the next one? Because again, this is, what we talk about with remakes and remastered collections, and I talk about this a lot on the channel, is a lot of times they're pulse tests. Remember, I've talked about that in the past, that these are like tests to see if people still want them. People still want them. The pulse test, I think, worked for Mafia. You got people talking about it, and in fact, I'd say you got a lot of people to buy the trilogy that maybe regret it now, but at the same, you still got them, okay? So you still got their money, but at the same time, you're not going to get people to do the next game if, like, the pulse test, there's different layers to it. Like, the pulse is beating on the Mafia franchise right now, but people aren't happy about it. It's kind of beating in a negative way where people are like, man, you got me, but this isn't what I want, and so I gave you a chance to lead up to Mafia 4, and you blew the chance. So you didn't even get to Mafia 4 yet, and you already kind of turned me away from the franchise, either again, for like someone like me, for like Mafia 3, or for the first time ever, you turned me away from it. Okay, so again, there are a lot of problems. This is a franchise that I want to be good. I'm going to continue covering it. I have a lot of nice things to say about it, and I have said nice things about it, but at the same time, it's a franchise that worries me. It's a franchise that if the remake does not do good at all, if this new remake, again, because if people didn't buy the trilogy and they were just waiting for 1, and then this remake sucks, I know I've been saying for a while that I do think Mafia 4 is being made, and I still do think that. If you don't think that, and you think that this is kind of a test to get a Mafia 4, then I would say like a Mafia 4 would never happen. Okay, now in my case, I do believe Mafia 4 is already being worked on, in which case I just think they're going to have to work even harder to get people into it, because people are not going to have a good taste in their mouths from this stuff, and then all of a sudden you're going to say, hey, here's a brand new Mafia, but people are going to say, well, we just did the trilogy, we just did this remaster of 2, which wasn't good at all. Like, the remaster wasn't good. Mafia 3, no one cares. Mafia 1, we were all expecting great things, and you failed us there as well. Now, again, that's to be decided still. And then why would we trust you for Mafia 4? You know what I mean? So there are long-term ramifications for things like that they have to keep in mind. And I'm sure they are, and I'm sure they're working hard. I have nothing against anybody working on these games. They just, Mafia 2's remaster, I think, did ironically hurt them, even though it was supposed to help them. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you think Mafia 1, do you think there's basically a lot riding on Mafia 1? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, have the bell icon turned on so you guys know when all these videos go up. And like I said, second channel will be in the description below. As we get closer to Mafia 1, I will continue to make videos. And really, if there's not anything hugely newsworthy on any given week or something, I will probably make Mafia videos every week, every 2 weeks. But just if there is some stuff that comes out in the gaming world, I tend to make those videos first, right? So just so you guys kind of know where I'm coming from, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.